Hey everyone, my name is Josh, and welcome back to your fourth stimulus package and news update. We have a lot of news to get into in today's video, but first, if you would like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $2,300, make sure to claim them by clicking my link, which you will find in the description box below. Okay, so on Monday, President Joe Biden announced he is renominating Jerome Powell for a second term as the Federal Reserve Chairman. This comes at just a little bit of a shock, with many speculating that he would get replaced. Progressive Democrats, such as Elizabeth Warren, also weren't overly pleased with Biden's selection. In a tweet, Warren stated, "It's no secret I oppose Chair Jerome Powell's renomination, and I will vote against him. I will support the president's nomination of Lael Brainerd as vice chair. Powell's failure on regulation, climate, and ethics make the still vacant position of Vice Chair of Supervision critically important. This position must be filled by a strong regulator with a proven track record of tough and effective enforcement, and it needs to be done quickly. American taxpayers have bailed out large financial institutions enough times. It's the job of the Federal Reserve to ensure large financial institutions do not put our economy at risk. As we move forward, I will use every oversight tool within reach to make sure that the Federal Reserve works for American families and not Wall Street." Here's Joe Biden addressing the opposition from progressives on his pick.
Jay said it well last month, and I'm going to quote him. He said, and I quote, "An economy is healthier and stronger when as many people as possible are able to work. If entrenched inequities prevent some Americans from participating fully in our labor markets, not only will they be held back from opportunities, but the economy overall will not realize its potential. And those who have historically been left behind stand the best chance of prospering in a strong economy with plentiful job opportunities." End of quote. As chair, Jay undertook a landmark review to reinforce the Federal Reserve's mission toward delivering full employment. We're making strong progress toward that goal now. And I believe Jay is the right person to see us through and finish that effort, while also addressing the threat of inflation that it poses to our families and to our economy. Now, some will no doubt question why I'm renominating Jay when he was the choice of a Republican predecessor. Why am I not picking a Democrat? Why am I not picking fresh blood or taking the Fed in a different direction? Put directly, at this moment, both enormous potential and enormous uncertainty for our economy, we need stability and independence at the Federal Reserve. Jay has proven the independence that I value in the federal chair, in the Fed chair. In the last administration, he stood up to unprecedented political interference, and in doing so, successfully maintained the integrity and credibility of his institution. It's just one of the many reasons why Jay has support from across the political spectrum. In 2018, he was confirmed with 84 votes in the United States Senate. His approach as Fed chair has earned the respect and support of groups from the AFL-CIO to the Business Roundtable, which brings me to one more reason I've chosen to renominate Jay. I believe having Fed leadership with a broad bipartisan support is important, especially now in such a politically divided nation. I believe we need to do everything we can to take the bitter partisanship of today's politics out of something as important as the independence and credibility of the Federal Reserve.
From here, Powell will have a tricky time ahead where he'll try to ensure that whatever policy he decides to roll out ends up both easing inflation, but also doesn't kill our recovery. If he raises rates, for example, it could end up easing inflation, but it could slow down our economic recovery. However, inflation still remains a large concern, and it's an everyday reminder for Americans wherever we go. Here is Republican Senator John Cornyn saying that the Democrats are literally throwing gas on the inflation fire.
When it comes to inflation, you don't have to take our words for it. Just look at Larry Summers, look at Steve Rattner, two leading Democratic economists who've disagreed with the Federal Reserve when they characterized inflation as transitory. And now even the Biden administration is realizing they don't know how long this surge in prices is going to last. I think it's two things. One is, we worked together on a bipartisan basis to deal with the COVID-19 crisis, and we did everything we could to protect the public health and throw an economic lifeline to people whose jobs who lost their jobs or needed some help to getting through the COVID-19 crisis. But now our Democratic colleagues are using this as an excuse to spend trillions and trillions more dollars that we don't have literally throwing gas on the inflation fire and causing gas prices, for example, home heating prices go up 54% this year compared to last year. We also know, as you heard from Senator Barrasso and Senator Murkowski, and will no doubt from others, is that this is a result of bad policies, really targeting our fossil fuel companies, our oil and gas companies in Texas and elsewhere, and then coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, calling on Vladimir Putin and OPEC to provide the oil which is necessary to refine into gasoline to provide more supply to bring the prices down. So this is a combination of bad policies when it comes to energy and pouring gas on the fire, so to speak, of inflation and making everyday commodities like the things you buy at the grocery store less affordable, and making it harder and harder on people on fixed income, seniors and others who have nowhere else to turn but to pay these higher and higher prices.
As far as stimulus checks go, with California residents already receiving 2 payments this year, it's widely being speculated that a third one could be sent out next year. This is because of a $31 billion surplus that they are expected to have next year. Of course, this is no guarantee, but with Governor Newsom already opting to send out 2 rounds of checks, it wouldn't be a shock to see a third one rolling out. In Arizona, they currently have a back-to-work stimulus program where if you accept a part-time job, you could be eligible for $1,000. Then, if you accept a full-time position, you could be eligible for $2,000. Connecticut also currently has a similar program where $1,000 checks are sent to eligible applicants who get back to work after just 8 weeks off of unemployment. For Floridians, $1,000 checks were sent out to teachers and first responders. Then next year, it is highly expected that Governor DeSantis will give another bonus for any first responder who moves to Florida from losing their jobs and takes one in his state. And just like Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee managed to do the same with bonus payments to teachers. As far as nationwide stimulus checks like we saw during the first 3 rounds, currently there aren't really too many talks. However, if the Build Back Better Act is signed into law, those of you with children under the age of 17 may be eligible to receive the enhanced child tax credit payments. Even though this is just a child tax credit, you will be receiving them on a monthly basis and higher payments than in years prior. Over the past few weeks, many Americans living outside the country are reporting to finally be receiving the payments sent out over the past several months from the first 3 rounds that most of us have already received. In total, the Department of State estimates that around 9 million U.S. citizens live overseas, and in total, 3.7 million of them have received payments. Of course, we've also managed to send other payments abroad, but rather than going to U.S. citizens, they ended up going to non-citizens due to a costly mistake. According to the Treasury, more than 30,000 checks worth more than $37 million were potentially sent in error to non-residents living overseas. So, over the next year, while there's almost no chance we'll see a 4th round of payments distributed nationwide, it is very possible that we could see individual states and cities roll out their own programs with additional funds they may have. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you would like to receive a couple of free stocks from Webull, make sure to quickly claim them by clicking my link in the description box below. To receive the first free stock, you will need to fully open an account. Then, to receive the second free stock, which will be valued all the way up to $2,000, you'll need to make a qualifying deposit of at least $5. And even if you aren't all that interested in investing or continuing to invest at this point in time, you can always sell the free stocks you receive and transfer that money, however much they're worth, right back to your bank account. So free stocks or free money is completely up to you. So once again, I hope everyone has a great and safe rest of their day. And if you did enjoy the content in today's video and you found it helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you would give this video a big thumbs up. That does help me out and lets me know that you enjoyed this video. And until next time, as always, I'll see you in the next